Hi everyone, I wanted to add a little bit to the previous video based on some of the things that have come up and become popular in the last few years. One of the things is Wattpad and other sites like Wattpad, and they are basically community sites, like a Facebook or a Goodreads, that are specifically for posting your stories. And it's been incredibly popular in the young adult crowd, and it's starting to also then become something that's big in the new adult population. I've heard various reports on how effective it is on building your platform. There are people whose whole careers have been based on Wattpad, and people who have not they've gotten quite a lot of following, but they're finding that it's not translating into sales. So one of the things I suggest with using sites like this is that you do a lot of research and see who has been successful and who hasn't. I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of information on that, so I'm not going to try to pretend like I know the best method of using Wattpad. But I know that there are tons of blog posts out there with people giving you tips on how to use Wattpad most effectively. And there isn't a growing, it's not, right now it's not just YA and NA it's targeting. There are sections on here for romance, and I think romance and mystery and urban fantasy are really the other primary genres that I've seen on Wattpad. And again, the target market on here is much younger. It's primarily an under 30s group, but they have been growing maybe a 30s base for things like romance. So check it out and see if it's something that is good for your particular niche of market of audience. And this is a great way. I've seen people on here who have like 1 million people following them. So there's quite a lot of readers on here. And it's a great way to kind of build your name, your brand, who you are as an author. Another way that you can use your writing online, or your writing as a means of building your platform, is I've been watching this is Harry Dresden on Twitter. His author is Jim Butcher, and I say this because Harry Dresden is a character. And the great thing about this, and Jim Butcher is a best-selling author, and he also has another series that's a fantasy series, but in this particular case he is using Twitter as a means of connecting with his audience, but it's also a great form of character development. He tweets as his character, and he's very specific about this. On the description for this Twitter account, it says, "Wizard for hire, no love potions or kids parties. Longshot author is my editor. We are two different people." So Longshot author is Jim Butcher's Twitter account, and this is Harry Dresden's account. This is his character's account. So people have so much fun connecting with Harry online. I know I do. We chat all the time, me and Harry. So that's an idea. If you have a really charismatic character, someone who's kind of funny or charming or has a lot of chutzpah, you really need a character that has a lot of charisma to pull this off. But this is an option for you to utilize Twitter, and you can do this on Facebook as well. You don't have to use Twitter. You can put your characters out there. Charlaine Harris, who wrote the series that became True Blood, she had her character Suki on Facebook for a long time. I haven't seen her posting on Facebook as Suki in a while, but she used to do it all the time. So it's things like that that you can utilize Twitter or Facebook, not so much Google+, but Twitter or Facebook, in order to get your character out there and get people knowing it. But again, it takes a lot of charisma to pull it off. So, another thing that I wanted to talk about was book anthologies and book series. Okay, this is a book series by Sean Platt and David Wright called Yesterday's Gone, and it has been amazingly successful. This is just what I would call, well, they're calling it season one, and I think they're actually on season, it's either 3 or 4 now, but they've had tremendous success with this. And what they've done is they've written, as you can see by the picture, they have Yesterday's Gone, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what they've done is they've written 6 short stories out there, and each of those short stories were posted 1 week after the other. So really you need to write the whole thing in advance. But they put it out almost the way that a serial is put out, but they don't put it on a blog post, they're only putting it on Amazon. The trick of it is that each one of these they have put on as if it's a book, and on average the books, I'm putting that in quote, are about 80 pages. So by the time they put all 6 of them together, and they compacted that into, now they're selling it as one book, season 1. It is quite a bit larger than one book. So it's somewhere between 1 and 2 books. So, but what they did is that each one of these very short books are 99 cents. And then they pulled all of them together with it becoming this type of anthology, well, like I said, they're calling it a series, because they based their model on a television show. So each one of these mini books is it has a cliffhanger ending. So it inspires you to then pick up the next one at 99 cents. So there's 6 of these. So if you buy each of them individually, it comes out to about $5.99. It's actually a little bit less than that. And the only thing that I don't like about this series, because I went ahead and bought it just to see what it was about, I think each one of the mini books has a fantastic cliffhanger ending, and it gets you going to the next one. And I just kept reading and reading. But I was hoping that if they were going to put it together in a season, that they would finish off some of the story from that season, and then maybe have a cliffhanger towards the next season. But they didn't do that. Book 6 just feels like each of the other mini books. But it's working for them. They've been getting a big crowd, and they put out book 1 of the mini book is available out there for free. So they give everybody a free taste of that first book, and then they get you hooked, and then you're off to the races buying all the rest of their mini books. So this is a great way to, again, build inventory. We have basically 1.5, maybe 2 books worth of material here, but on Amazon it's showing up as 6 of these little mini books, and then 1 of the whole season put together. So there's 7 books out there instead of just 1 or 2. So it's a great way to get to quickly build inventory, and if you can make it a cliffhanger ending and give away the first one for free permanently, it's a nice model to get people hooked on your writing and then zoom off to the races to the rest of the series. So that's an idea. One of the other things that people are doing is they're just taking random short stories that they've written about their characters in a particular book that they want to have out, and they're submitting those as short stories on Amazon. So people know, and they charge 99 cents for them, and then they will bundle those just similarly to this season. It isn't as like with this one, each one is a cliffhanger to the next one, and this would be just separate stories. Maybe you have 6 different characters in your book, and you have short stories about 3 of them, and then you bundle them together into a short stories about your character's book. Another option is to get a group of authors together, newbie authors like yourself who write similar stories. You don't have to be exactly the same, but something within the same genre and maybe the same tone. And then you put together an anthology. You choose a subject or a topic that you want the book to be about, and you choose a title, and then you each agree to write a story. And I've seen ones like this that have 20 authors in them. I don't recommend that, because now you're not going to stand out, and they're not going to put all 20 authors on Amazon. Pick 4. authors, and the four of you come together and you write maybe a 80 or 100-page short story or small, novella style, and then put that together. Maybe a 50-page story, that sort of thing. And if you have four of you and you have 50 pages, it's a 200-page book. That's completely decent. People would have no problems paying 99 cents, $1.99 for it. And now you have something that's out there that all four of you, your authors, as authors, will come up on Amazon. And that just adds towards your total with Amazon, your book supply for people, so that when they go to buy your book, when your book comes out, they can see that you have other books or short stories out there and available. And people like that. They want to know that you have other things for them to read. They want to be able to get to know you better. So this is a great way to do that. Very quickly build up an inventory of your writings on Amazon.